so that we could see who could provide the best proposal, answering to the requirements, the new requirements that we had. And what we wanted to do is address what we knew were problems that we had in our city in the past. That is not critical of any specific company. All of them had challenges. All of them had problems, and that's what we saw in the proposals. And that's because you're going to have weather events, you're going to have things that operate outside of the control of the company, whether it's people calling in sick, whether it's people quitting, whether the truck's getting old, or what have you. Those things happen. What we wanted to do, and what we got assistance in doing from what a company called SWS, is to outline a proposal request that addressed our needs, right? And so when we asked for companies to submit a proposal, we wanted that company to let us know, hey, if you get this contract, can you give us new containers? Ergo, new containers. And I got to tell you that I didn't even think of that as an issue, because I've had, my container for a while, but I'm by myself at my house, and my parents, that we didn't have torn up containers. But I can tell you, and if you'll look around as you drive, you'll see there are many containers around here without tops that are broken. I saw one that was sitting on its side the other day with duct tape around it. And that's because a lot of times people are like, hey, I don't feel like it, I can use this. It sits in the back anyway until I bring it out front, and then I put it in the back, it's okay. What we wanted to do was kind of start with a refresh. We want all of the containers to be functional, and we wanted them to look nice, because we want our city to look nice. It's part of beautification. And so that was important to us. We wanted the dumpsters for our businesses also to be functional and to look nice. And so that was one of the things we asked for, was for new containers. We knew that last summer that we had some issues, that our current provider had some issues with trucks. A lot of companies have issues with trucks. And what we found out is that the life of these trucks runs about 10 years, give or take a few. So we knew that we didn't want to deal with that anymore. What we wanted is a company that would use trucks no older than 4 years. Why 4 years? Well, if we're going to sign a 5-year contract with a new company, we wanted to get to the end of our contract without the trucks getting to the end of their life cycle, if that makes sense. So that we wouldn't have to deal with trucks breaking down, etc. So that's why we had that as a standard. We knew that people had issues making phone calls and reaching someone where they could make an appointment to pick up leaves and other brush. Well, we wanted regular pickup of the brush, so people didn't have to call. They could just set it out there and have it picked up. It might have to be picked up in 1 or 2 cycles, depending on how many bags you have, but you wouldn't have to call, it would just get done. That was something that was necessary. We wanted to make sure that if people called, they would get someone and be able to call with any complaints and have their complaints or their issues addressed. And so we put some parameters in there requiring for the well, that's next. But we wanted to make sure that when people called, they could make their complaints, and their complaints would be heard in a reasonable period of time. And outside of any calamity and weather events, we put a 24-hour requirement for people's issues to be addressed. Doesn't mean that everything will be resolved in the same day, but you will get a response. And finally, and this was one of the most important things, and there were several things, it's a long contract that addresses a lot, ultimately to ensure optimal service and ultimately to ensure accountability. One of the most important things is since no one in this room, no one in this world is perfect, what we felt was important that when and if something did happen, that whoever the company is that's serving us would have to pay some sort of, some people call it fines, some people call it clawbacks. I think in the proposal it was called liquidated damages. And basically what it does is create an incentive, or really a disincentive, to sort of let things linger. So it's not that if there's a missed pickup, there's a damage, but if it's egregious, if it's in the same day, the company misses 5 pickups in the same day. After that, every pickup that's missed, it's $100. There are some egregious actions that will fine $5,000, $500, $3,000. No company that's a for-profit company wants to lose money for not doing the work. And so those are disincentives, but there are also protections for our city and for our residents to ensure that their trash gets picked up and that it gets done right and well. And that's the bottom line of it. And at the end of the day, cards went out because their focus was not only on customer service and technology. They will have technology on their trucks which will film and ensure that the drivers are actually picking up the trash. It'll document if there is a miss, so it won't just be somebody saying, well, we did it, we went by there, and it won't just be a resident saying, well, they didn't come. We will have that technology available to help and assure accountability. I think the last 2 things I want to mention that was critical to the contract, and that's what this was always about. What is the best contract for Pine Bluff residents? The local service, the local engagement, the investment in Pine Bluff. Cards was the only company to pledge commitment to place a call center in Pine Bluff utilizing Pine Bluff workers. That was very, very important, so that there wouldn't be a situation where you're calling with an issue and the call rolls over to an out-of-state call center or to an out-of-the-country call center. So that's important, but also having a presence here and having the hauling station right here in Pine Bluff was also really important. And the possibility, I would even say likelihood, as they continue to grow and expand, a transfer station. And so that would provide more jobs. It would provide, I think, local engagement, local service. So all of that was important. I'm going to stop right now because we had 2 additional council members come in, and if you ladies can stand up, Council Member Letitia Brunson and Council Member Denton. Von Denton. Okay. So thank you all for coming. I invited everybody to come up because they may have questions for all of us, but you can sit there and if you want, or you can come up with us. Right now, and let me also introduce my Chief of Staff, Joyce Campbell. Joyce Campbell was actually on the selection committee, and she really staffed this process and shepherded this process. I think, like me, she learned more about trash and the waste industry than she ever thought she would or wanted to, but it allowed us to be able to speak about this issue and answer questions with information and intelligently. With that, and so we both will be available for questions. We're going to go to the next phase of this and ask Cody Yandel to deliver a presentation, and then he will also introduce this level. So I'm going to hand Cody the mic, and he can get started with his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it, and really look forward to serving you and your community. The presentation that we have is, we don't want to take you guys to class. We want to give you guys the opportunity to ask questions. Just a few frequently asked questions that we get, and if we can get it on the screen, we'll get this thing rolling for you.
I just saw City Attorney Althea Hayden Scott come in the house. She's been extremely instrumental. She was also on the selection committee, yes. Wastewater, as well as Liberty for our drinking water, and also for our waste contract. So it is all combined in one bill. Now, that is for residents. For commercial customers, they are billed directly from the company. That's number one. What I'm going to do is I'll hand the mic to Cody to talk about how if there is, let's say, I guess a property owner who still needs the waste picked up or the brush, but may not have waste. Maybe it's a rental property, and so the water's not on. I mean, it's some different, very, very special circumstances where that would happen, but I'll hand the mic to Cody.
Thank you for the question. So the way that we have it set up right now is that every resident will have the ability to have bulk service. So that's great. You don't have to worry about calling in anymore or anything like that. So the way that the contract is we will collect 4 cubic yards of waste, and here in a little bit I actually have a visual reference of what that looks like. It's 4 of the poly cards or trash cans that you see right here. We will collect up to that amount at no cost. The mayor and I have talked during the contract process, and let's say you have one more than 4. We're gonna pick that up. We're not gonna worry about that. Now, if it becomes a point where there's 10 extra yards, then we'll be requiring the citizen to either keep the 10 yards out there as we get 4 yards at a time, or to call in before your scheduled day and get with us and say, hey, I have a little bit more this week than I did last week. This is about how much I have. We'll send one of our supervisors out. We'll look at it, and then we'll take it from there.
Bulk be picked up. So in other words, let's say that there's
Correct. If there's no water service set up, we wouldn't pick that up because it wouldn't be a regularly scheduled pickup on our end.
I guess my concern is that residents often don't put their bulk pickup in their own yards. They'll dump it on the side of the road. They'll dump it to the vacant house next door, the vacant lot. So I'm just trying to understand how would that issue be addressed with the new service.
So you're just asking about how misplaced waste for existing customers will be addressed? If I'm understanding you right, too, what I suspect is that misplacement has occurred maybe because someone just wanted their stuff picked up. I mean, I guess with the way it is currently, you have to call to get it picked up. And
vacant lot or at that vacant residence, and then it just sits there. So and my question may be more to you as mayor than to the company.
Yeah.
But there's still an issue with bulk.
That sounds kind of like what you're talking about is more, I would say, a code enforcement infraction, maybe, Director Lockett. So the question is, what happens if there is a vacant property, or I guess with someone misplacing brush in somebody else's yard or on the street, and they don't have pickup? I mean, that's really littering and dumping, what you're talking about. And that's going to be a code enforcement issue. That's not necessarily going to be a cards issue. However, what I would say is I think that we will see less of that because people don't have to call and wait. Oh, are you talking about dumping like this?
This service is included in their water service. So rather than just leave the trash there at the curb for the waste cars to pick up, they take it down the road or to some
What I get what you're saying. What I'm thinking is that since people don't have to call and that it'll be picked up incrementally if it's a lot of stuff, that people won't have the need to take it down the street. Now, if they have service, then they have service. And so you can put it out in front of your own property. If they don't have service, if I don't have service and I'm putting it on your property, I'm dumping. You know what I mean? And that's a city code enforcement and in some cases law enforcement issue.
And can I speak with you afterwards?
For sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You'll speak with myself and Director Lockett afterwards. Okay.
All right, we got the presentation going now. I can't sit and present, I'm sorry, I have to stand up. So Curtis is gonna drive for us. I'll stand over here. As we get this going, if you wanna, we're open to any questions or anything that you want answered. But as we go through this, I think a lot of it will get answered as in start date, where to place your cart and stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and get it going. Curtis, can you go to the next one? So we're gonna go over the start date. We're gonna go over frequently asked questions that we get. We're gonna go over service that we offer. And we're gonna go over a little bit of a visual reference when we're talking to the bulk pickup and the 4 carts. So we're pleased to announce that beginning November 1st, 2025, Cards will be your new waste service provider. We're honored to serve Pine Bluff residents and committed to delivering reliable, efficient waste management services. Service begins November 1st. Cards will start appearing in neighborhoods prior to then, but the first scheduled day for service will be 11/3, which is that Monday. So 11/1's on a Saturday, 11/3 will be the first actual service day. All right, so one of the most common questions that we get is, how do I pay my bill? Which is a great question. Much like your previous hauler, we are billing through the water department. So Liberty Utilities is going to be the same way that you get your bill through us, just like you did with your previous hauler for residential service. Now, when it comes to commercial and industrial service, we will be billing those customers directly. So for billing questions, you'll be able to contact your local customer service team for a quick and efficient resolution. So if you have any questions or anything regarding your bill or anything that comes up regarding trash, we're going to have a localized customer service team, which is a very big, I don't want to call it an opportunity, but it's a very big partnership. Yes, thank you. Very big partnership with the city of Pine Bluff, and we're really excited to have that localized touch. Not every one of our markets has that. That was something that that mayor requested, and that we were more than happy to do. We want you to be able to talk to somebody that is in your neighborhood, that is serving your community as well. So we're really excited for that partnership. So another frequently asked question that we get is, will my service day change? So we're working diligently with the city of Pine Bluff and the incumbent hauler to ensure that your service day remains consistent with the schedule that you have right now. Part of our transition is working diligently with the incumbent hauler, and we're working on getting that set up. That way it's a very seamless transition for you. What time should I set out my carts? So your poly carts can be set out for collection the night before your collection day. You can place them out as early as 6 p.m. the evening before. I always set mine out personally, after dinner before my service day. Because I've ran into the issue where you're used to your truck running at 10 o'clock every day, and then something happens and they run at 7 o'clock the next time, and you're like, oh man, I got missed, and it's like the can wasn't out, which is an issue that we run into sometimes, not saying all the time, but setting it out the day before ensures that we're not going to run into that missed service issue. And then what also leads into missed service issues is, how do I place my trash cart for the best service experience? So place containers out the night before, set them on a hard, flat, level surface, ensure your carts are clear from obstructions like snow, landscaping, mailboxes, utility poles, and vehicles. Do not block sidewalks. Containers must remain upright. Keep all materials inside the container. Do not place containers back to back. Leave clearance space around each container so the arm can grab, lift, empty, and return to the curb. Allow 3 feet of space around all sides, and face the opening towards the curb and the handle towards your home. So we know that there's the brush and bulk pickup. We know that not everything is going to fit into the cart. So that is kind of just like a blanket, frequently asked question. We know that there's going to be a component to your service where you have stuff outside of the cart. Totally fine. Totally fine. What materials do we not accept at carts? So batteries, lithium ion, car batteries, rechargeable batteries, propane tanks, full or empty, paint, stains, and varnishes, motor oil and automotive fluids, pesticides and herbicides, household cleaners and chemicals, medical waste like needles, syringes, medications, electronics, flammable or explosive materials. So it's pretty standard on MSW or municipal solid waste that is the list of items that aren't picked up. All right, so we're transitioning into what services do we offer? We offer residential trash collection, industrial waste, and commercial waste services, as well as roll-off rentals, so short-term roll-offs, which we call temporary industrial work. Another question that we get asked fairly often is, why do I see a carts truck in my neighborhood, but they didn't pick up my trash? We get that call just about every week. Truck goes right by somebody's house, and it's not necessarily what you think. We didn't miss you. Carts sends out different trucks for each type of service, so you may see carts truck in your neighborhood that collects a different type of waste than what is at your curb. This does not mean your house was missed. Pickup service may not be completed until 7 p.m. each day. So, I know we've touched on this a couple times, and I'm sure we'll probably ask questions and answer questions about it as well. How frequently are brush and bulk items serviced? So that is serviced weekly on the same day as your standard residential trash service. So we're going to run it the same day. We don't want you to have to put your cart out and put your bulk out, your cart get emptied, 3 days later your bulk's still there, we pick up your bulk 3 days later. We don't like that. If given the opportunity in the future to work on a recycling program for the city as well, recycling will more than likely run on the same day as well. So you're putting everything out at one time, everything's serviced in one day, and then you're good to go. So how much brush bulk am I able to set at the curb to be serviced? So I put a little bit of a visual reference up there, 4 carts side by side, that's roughly 4 cubic yards. So each resident is allowed 4 cubic yards. For brush bulk, please have items placed neatly and placed 3 feet from your residential cart to make sure that we're not interfering with the service of the residential tote. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
I said, if I have, like, let's say I have bags of brush and leaves in a bag, do they have to go in my container, or would you pick up the bags?
They do not have to go in your container. A lot of times when we have leaf pickup or mowing clippings, we're going to have more than what will fit in here, as well as your residential service. So the brush and bulk service that we're offering to the city of Pine Bluff allows us to pick that up as it sits next to the can. That's all we have for the presentation. So we'll open it up for questions.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I missed the part where you addressed if something doesn't fit in the can. So like if there are more bags than can fit in the container there.
Yes, ma'am. So that would technically be considered like bulk or brush pickup. So you would just set it 3 feet away from your can, and that would be how we would service that.
If you don't mind, tell me a little bit more about the call center that's going to be established here in Pine Bluff.
Great question. So we're in the process of buying our building right now. In our building, we're going to host our hauling service. So all of our trucks will be dispatched out of that location. All of our operations and mechanics will be in there as well. the building that we're about to purchase, we're about to go under contract on, has the ability to be set up as a call center. So we will have room for customer service reps to accurately and efficiently do their job as well.
Hold on just a second. We had a gentleman right here, and then we'll.
Yes, sir. Where is this company coming from?
Our home base is in Springdale, Arkansas. So our headquarter office is in Springdale, Arkansas. We cover 5 states currently.
And you are going to move a company here to facility here.
Yes, sir. We're opening an office and location here.
Okay.
I just have a quick question. If you only have a couple of bags of yard waste, are you allowed to put that into your can?
Yes.
Because we were not supposed to do that in previous carriers.
Yes, ma'am. You can do that.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Alderman Stephen Mays, Senior Alderman, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So you said the call center gonna be in Pine Bluff?
Yes, sir.
Where?
In the industrial park where our hauling service is.
Okay. Now that's Pine Bluff, that's not Whitehall.
As far as I know, it is Pine Bluff, correct? It's in the industrial park.
Yeah. So you're only gonna pick up in Pine Bluff area? The city of Pine Bluff?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's just a follow-up question, and like, how many designated call center reps would you have?
Great question. So I think starting out, we're gonna have between 2 and 5, and that'll be what we start out with.
Tiger Docket. I know in other cities they have the big waste containers where they'll come out free of charge to certain neighborhoods and certain areas so many times a year for free. We all offer the same thing as well.
We do, and we actually partnered with the city on the roll-off cleanups. So there are scheduled cleanups that are going to be provided through the city for that.
Any other questions?
Thank you. Allison Thompson from the Alliance. I've got a personal question, first of all. For the bulk, the sticks, in the past, we've been told, cut them into 2-foot lengths, wrap them up with string, all that stuff. Is that still going to be required, or is it going to, can we just, make a nice pile of stuff?
Make a nice pile.
Okay.
And we would like it to not exceed 4 feet.
Right, gotcha.
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha. And could you speak to, the opportunities for employment for the people driving the trucks and doing the work?
Yep.
And thank you for becoming a Pine Bluff Chamber of Commerce member.
Yes,
Appreciate you.
So we have our careers page. We actually have already launched our landing page for City of Pine Bluff. We can find all of our open career opportunities on that page. I can make sure that with the Alliance, we can get that sent out to everybody in the newsletter as well. But if you go to our website and go to About Us and Careers, you will find that there. We are working diligently with the incumbent hauler to make sure that we are giving the first opportunity to any employee that wants to come over from the incumbent hauler. So we're giving that first opportunity to them.
Before we hear from Councilmember Brunson, the other thing, first of all, I want to thank Allison Thompson. She has been very helpful, and her team with the Chamber and the Alliance, instrumental in ensuring that with the very short window of time allotted, that Cards was able to find the right facility that they can use now, as well as grow into should they decide to expand and create the transfer station on the property, so that the hauling station or center and the call center, as well as the transfer station, will be all in one area in Pine Bluff. Councilmember Brunson.
had a statement. Can you all put that employment link or page connected to our city page too, so we can share that out to everyone?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And it's actually already on there, and it's something that we have already shared, but we will do a specific employment related post. The only thing that we have waited on is to confirm all of the information regarding an employment event that Cards is gonna hold on Friday at the chamber. Yes.
One follow-up, will we still have a free dump day? I know we was having that. What is he saying there? I wasn't paying attention all the way. I was getting so
You're
sorry
fine.
about that.
I know in the contract we have scheduled roll-off days, so I think
Oh,
that might
okay.
be, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Got a question here, Mayor.
Okay, hold on, let me get council member, Ms. Brown.
Joyce Brown, Central Park Community Watch. I have concerns from some of my patrons at my watch center, and when you say you can call in the call center if there's not a pickup, just say my pickup day is Wednesday, and you don't get to me that Wednesday. Will you get to me before the next Wednesday, or just say you don't get there by 7 p.m.? You said that's the cutoff time. Because some residents have had to wait until another week to get their refuse picked up, and I don't think that's fair to wait to have 2 weeks worth of garbage there, and we're paying the same amount.
You're correct, that is not fair. So we will not make you wait until your next service day. Per the contract, we actually have to have that resolved within 24 hours of notification. So let's say you call us on Thursday, we'll have you picked up by Friday.
Can I speak to the fact too that the city will be getting weekly or daily reports on missed pickups, however we desire. So we're gonna be tracking that, and so.
Daily.
Daily.
Yes. Councilmember Denton, and then, okay. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Brainard Bivens with the Arkansas Community Organizations. Welcome to Pine Bluff. One of the questions I've got, I haven't heard it clarified. Is there going to be an increase in our rates?
Great question. So the rates are locked for the first year of service, and then after that, it's based off of the CPI. And the city has requested a cap on that. So if the CPI goes up exuberantly, the citizen will not be impacted by that.
CPI, yeah.
Yep.
And just to add clarification, so I can't remember the exact price right now. It's 18 something, and it will be 19 something with the new contract. And just also, so everyone is clear, the apples to apples comparison, Cards had the lowest rate. Okay? Now, the other thing is typically the cost, consumer price index. So the CPI would be the basis of how much it could increase. And depending on the market and market forces, it could go up to as high as 8% in a given year. What we did in the contract is limit that, we capped that increase at 4%. Now, it typically, if it goes up, will go up 1%, 2%. But in a given year, if it could go up 8%, we're capping it at 4%.
And another question about the prospect of recycling. Is it something that you're going to gradually introduce to the community since we've never had that before?
Great question. So in the RFP process, we were asked to present pricing for that. When we presented pricing for that, we presented it understanding that the city of Pine Bluff has never had a recycling program, and the mayor really wanted to kind of see what that would look like if Pine Bluff wanted to pursue it. That is something that we are able to add in the future. and we've discussed that at length. There will be a lot of town hall events much like this, talking about recycling and gearing up for that if it does come out that we are able to do it.
Okay, since you all were selected, speaking, well, I guess I can speak for us, the citizens. We ask that you will stick to what you're going to say that you're going to do, and please do not disappoint us.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Do you have side door pickup for those who cannot take their trash to the curb?
Yes, ma'am, we sure do.
Okay.
We sure do. So once we get up and operating, everyone inside city limits of Pine Bluff will have an account set up with us. All you'll have to do is give our customer service team a call, and we'll get that set up for you, no problem.
So if they already have it through waste management, with the doctor's note on file, that will not transfer? We have to submit over again?
It won't transfer because we're a different company, but if you provide that to us, absolutely.
Okay.
I got over here.
Edward Pinkins. One quick question. We talked about the residential carts. What about the dumpsters for commercial dumping?
Yes, sir. So what question do you have specifically about commercial?
How will the transition go about, removing dumpsters from waste management and replacing with carts or dumpsters?
Great question. So we're working with Waste Management right now for staging our dumpster where your location is. And that's for everybody. It's not just residential, commercial, industrial as well. So we're working with the incumbent hauler to make sure that we're making that process as seamless as possible for you or, for the commercial business.
Okay, I was just asked about an out clause in the contract. I'm not aware of a specific out clause. One of the things that we made sure to do, since it is a 5-year contract, and since we're talking about a waste contract, it's not that easy. As you saw, it's not even easy to change when there's a process in place, because changing requires coordination, it requires time. The company in place has to remove their equipment, remove their containers. So for that reason, it's probably not an out clause. But what we do have that we didn't have, and I mentioned this earlier, is if there is any breach of contract, we have the liquidated damages to assure some measure of of accountability. And we also have the daily reports that will be in place, along with the 24-hour mandate for there to be resolution for those complaints.
Can I get the website, please?
Yes, hold on one second. I'll get that for you. If you want to come see me after this, I don't know how long the URL is. I don't want to spell it out, but I can give it to you for sure.
Yes, how long do you think it will be before everything is fully in place and up and running? Because it's going to take some time. I mean, my trash is picked up on Tuesday, and I looked at your start date, and I figure it's going to take some time for you to change out waste management, and do this and that, and do everything. So do you have a projected date so that we won't be frustrated and talking crazy to people?
That won't happen.
That won't happen, but November 1st is the start, and that is when we are starting. So the transition process has already started behind the scenes. All of the residential carts and commercial dumpsters and roll-off dumpsters have already been ordered. In the upcoming weeks, we're going to start placing those at your residence so that there is no lapse in service for you.
I had one other question. I noticed with our last company, when we, just say there was an accident and something happened and they came out and replaced our trash receptacle, it was smaller. It was smaller. It wasn't the same size it was at the beginning. When they brought the new trash bins out, they were smaller. So I'm asking you, just say we put it out and somebody come through driving like they're crazy and tear up our bin, you have to bring another one out, trash can. Will it be the same size as the one we started with?
Great question. So I drove around with the mayor the other day, and that was something that I pointed out to her as well, and she did not notice that prior to the RFP process. So per the contract, and I'm sure per the previous contract it stated this too, there has to be this size of container at your house. There's not going to be a change in that. In fact, these containers are a lot easier for us to operate with. So if we go to a smaller container, it takes adjusting the arms on the ASL or automatic side load truck. It makes it different because every stop's different. So that's why you go down some streets, you see some cans that are crushed, you see some that might fall out, or you see stuff like that happen. It's because of inconsistent size, and having a set in the contract, this is what it's supposed to be at every resident's house, that protects you from that. So yes.
And if I could speak to that real quick, I didn't notice before, there are different sizes. Some are skinnier, some are fatter and shorter, some are just straight smaller, to your point. Some are green with green tops, some are green with yellow tops, some are brown. I did not notice that at all. And I think that when we talk about what new containers across the city means, that consistency is really important. And you know, it's hard, I think, for any company to manage, you know, who's, after that many years, whose containers came for the first wave, who has a brown container, who has the green container with the yellow tops, which is really recycling. I don't know why we have any of those. And then who has this size green container without starting over like we're doing. And so I haven't noticed it, and when you all drive around, I promise you after this meeting, you're gonna go, wait, look, because that's what I'm doing. I'm noticing it now that I have that level of awareness. But that's a great question. Yes, ma'am.
Well, my question is, what happens if it's the resident that somehow forgot to put the trash out and it was missed on their fault? Is it another week?
No, not necessarily. So if that happens, give us a shout. We'll get you what's called a courtesy pickup. We'll be more than happy to take care of that for you.
Let me address an issue.
But don't make it a habit.
Let me address an issue. In the transition, we are working very closely with Waste Management to get as many records for them as we can. So from the question about senior citizens, you know, the pickup at the door, I'm hoping that I would be able to get their records that indicate where that already is. So we're going to be working very diligently to make sure that any customer that had that, it'll be able to transfer over to cards. Yes.
One more question. How will you handle or address, and also too, each resident will be required to have at least one dumpster, one trash can. So how will you handle or address the ones who have people to go pick up other people's trash cans in front of their yard as well too?
You mean like steal them?
Correct.
So to have multiple dumpsters at your house, is that what you're asking? So we will have that ability to do that. We can provide extra containers at your house. Right now, that's currently built through Waste Management. We're working on getting access to who has extra containers. That way, that doesn't happen. The last thing we want is your container to get stolen or something like that. But we can add extra containers to your account.
Well, and I think what you were asking is if you get the container that goes to your house and somebody steals it. So lost or stolen, there you'd have to purchase another one.
There's a replacement cost.
There's a replacement cost to it. But if you are asking for an additional one, you get one free with your service. And then if you want a second one, then there's an additional cost per month. Kind of like if you have Entergy and you want a light in the back, you pay just a small fee for having that extra light. So for an extra container, if you know that you have more than the allotted amount, some people do have 2 containers, and I think it's an extra $7, $8 a month.
Since regardless if it's lost or stolen, you gotta pay for another one.
Curtis, I'll let you speak to that. I think when we're setting this up in Navisoft, are we able to plug in? Okay.
So on the tablet, as we're operating the alarm, or when we pull up the customer, it'll show 1 container, 2 containers. Like we'll know as we're servicing if that customer is supposed to have 2 or 1 or maybe even 3. We'll have that data right in front of her, right in front of our face. We haven't thus far, but we can do that. Yeah.
So they have serial numbers on your container right here.
Yes, my question is, we have 2 containers at our church, and we had a big bin, but we let the big bin go to get 2 trash cans. Would you take one of those, or are you gonna charge for both of them at the church?
So if you have 2 currently, and
Yes,
that's what
sir.
you want, so when we got that information from Waste Management, we can see that you have 2 there.
Yes, sir.
Our current rate for the commercial polycard, I'm assuming you have 2 like this, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I believe, don't let me lie to you, but I believe they are right now $24.99 a piece. So it's a little bit cheaper than the Waste Management commercial polycard service.
They was only charging us for 1 can there because we gave the big can back. They wasn't charging us for both cans.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So if we have 2 cans there, we will have to charge for 2 cans. Now, if we want to look at a dumpster for you, if that makes more sense, if we can get a 2-yard, once a week.
We had a dumpster there, but we're not there that much to use the dumpster. That's why Waste Master gave us an extra can.
Gotcha.
Because sometimes we might be full and sometimes we don't.
Gotcha.
We're not
So,
there every day.
all right. So on ours, what we'd be able to do, since it's an extra can, it would be the $24.99, and then it would be $8 for the extra can per month.
Okay.
Here I go.
That's for.
You got a mic? Okay, I'm gonna come here, here, and here. Okay.
Thank you. So, I'll go amazed again. So just say, for instance, this is this line right here. This is the boundary line for Whitehall and Pine Bluff. Our can's gonna be one color, and theirs gonna be some other color, right?
So right now in Whitehall, they have Waste Management. So
They're gonna keep Waste Management.
From
They are.
my understanding, yes, that we haven't been told that they're making a change.
Okay.
So, as it
That's
stands,
gonna get real. Y'all gonna that's gonna get real sticky. It's gonna get out of control. If we don't fix it, I will make sure we got different color cans.
so we're not gonna, we don't change this is like our standard can. So that is policed by the city limits. So it's not going to be, it'll be Whitehall separate from Pine Bluff, is Redfield separate from Whitehall. It's separate by the city limits. So that we've never ran into that issue where stuff has led across city limit lines or anything like that.
This is a whole nother area.
So when can we expect our new cans? This first question.
Great question. So within the next couple weeks, so early October is what we're looking at right now.
And can you just maybe using this front row of chairs, show me what 4 cubic yards looks like?
Sure.
I'm fine.
So about that width and a little bit deeper, of course, because those chairs are a little bit smaller than this container. So
Okay, I have, and it may relate to some of you others. Our church has a dumpster container, and it is being abused by the public, and we are struggling with a way to keep other people from putting things in our containers. They, have suggested a lock, how do y'all handle situations like that?
Yes, ma'am. Great question. So we actually do lock bars as well, and we've seen that in every market. That doesn't happen just here; it happens everywhere. If there's a dumpster, everyone thinks they have a right to it, right? And I think we all can agree on that. But the lock bars would be an additional cost to the customer, but is great protection in regards to that. That way, you're the one paying for it. You're utilizing the service.
Any more questions? She was Oprah. I am Vanna. Any more questions?
There are no letters over here. Okay. It is 6:31, so we are 1 minute past an hour. Martavius Proctor, Mayor's Office's Special Projects and Communication Coordinator, is here, and he has some handouts that I think he's handed out to everyone, so for you all to take home. And we will also be posting this information on our social media page. It'll be on their website, and I guess we can get our Vanna White on. Okay.
Oh, and it's got silver on the inside.
Or my middle name is Levita. We're gonna get our Vita Black on. No. So this is
it zips too. Oh, I'm sorry, I was getting excited about a
it's
bag.
like a little cooler bag, and they have some of those back there. Just a little merch, something you can use for events and work and what have you.
And it zips. There's a little insulation on the inside.
So you have two things to take home with you, and hopefully you will share with others the information, or let them know the information is available all over social media. And if there are no questions, we are dismissed. Thank you so much for coming. Okay.
Councilman.
Huh? Oh, okay, we'll pray out.
I'm gonna pray us out. And can I mention too, if you have any additional questions or clarity, feel free to call the mayor's office, and you can ask for me. So let us pray. Gracious and loving God, we thank you for change. Everything changes except you. So as we prepare to go in a new direction, order our steps, provide our needs, educate our citizens, help us be sensitive, and embrace the new that is coming to Pine Bluff. Now, as we leave this place, we ask that you give us traveling grace and protect us from all hurt, harm, and danger until we meet again. Amen. Don't forget your bag. It's insulated and it zips up. I'm going to get me one of them.